Slightly behind today. Just trying to get but what? No. Sorry. Just trying to get caught up today. Definitely slightly behind. All right. Go. All right. So, obviously Fed came in yesterday and did what they were expected to do, and the question was, what would they do further? Seen a number of different kind of opinions, releases, mentions of, they're gonna cut by 75. They're gonna go one more and then cut 75 basis points next year. I think the mention of the quantity of the cut next year, I think, is what's surprising people. They said that they weren't actually going to do any raises till the end of 2024. That was something we've known for a long time, and we'll see. Um, I think it's right now, if they can't tell us how long they're going to raise for, I think saying what they're going to cut next year is kind of a bit of an exaggeration, particularly because, yesterday morning, remember, the UK actually started raising interest rates before the US did. They've been doing it longer, and seeing something like this, I mean, everybody's like, yep, it's working, inflation's coming down, no problem. Then you see something like this where it's a zero point 0.5 miss over what the expectation was, a 0.3 increase on a yearly basis. Again, everybody's claiming the yearly is like, oh, it's coming down. Is it really? We're still higher than it needs to be. So this is kind of what I think the risk is. So I think right now that the market is kind of not, I don't want to say position wrong, but um, I think the Fed, they did the right thing by raising. Um, some of the comments, and I think we're going to hear more about it. You know, like, I mean, there's all kinds of articles about it and like opinions on it. Um, it'll be interesting to see what happens next time, right? To kind of see the next round of like CPI, PPI, core PCE. If that raises, I think they're going to have a major problem on their hands. And again, this morning, Swiss did what they were expected to do. Pretty much everything came in as exactly as expected. Unemployment claims came in at 191, less than expectation. So there's every reason why to keep going. So we'll see. Um, all the data is pretty much out for today. Obviously, new home sales is not necessarily a biggie. Tomorrow morning, though, we got a bunch of the manufacturing stuff. Right, pretty much all the PMI data comes out tomorrow. Um, big ones are going to be to look at is France and Germany. Obviously, those will give us the European number. And some of the numbers, not many of them are changing. Again, expected to be below 50, not changing; above 50, not changing; increasing a little bit. There's an adjustment, and again, flash services. Again, 51, it's close, it's borderline. Overall, in the European Union, doesn't change. Over here, again, flash manufacturing PMI may actually be able to bump over 50, which would be good. And then we have all the core retail sales numbers, and they're all expected to be great for Canada. And then the durable goods and orders coming in for the U.S., both core and regular, expected to be up a little bit. And again, could there be disappointment there? Maybe, right? We knew the manufacturing data kind of got blown up, so wasn't necessarily the best thing that they were looking for. So, yeah, and then we followed up, and I think big questions here is obviously flash manufacturing. All the numbers have been super negative, so I don't expect that to break above 50. But this services PMI, right? The services PMI inching closer to 50. It's not like a 50.1 is different than like a 52 or 53. But we're getting really, really close. And I think the big thing to look at here is, um, if that does break 50, I mean, 50 is the magic number, right? Above it is expansion, below is contraction. So it's almost like a pass fail test, right? We're kind of getting into the pass fail test of things here. So, you know, pass fail wise, if it is below 50, that's kind of negative, right? Now the unemployment data was good, and again, I'm still in the believer that, um, yep, um, I think the Fed didn't do enough early enough. I think they should have went higher in the beginning. I think they should have listened to Bullard. I don't think that the 0.25 additional is going to make that much of a difference. I think it's temporary. Even if they magically got it back down to 2% on a year over year, I didn't see any negative in there. I just saw all the prices go higher, and then that's entrenched inflation, which they said, nah, that won't happen. We don't have to worry about that. But I don't think we really need to, debate whether or not we should trust them and whether their readings are good or not good. Um, you know, Even last night I tried to grab Jen something, this like little drink thing that she likes. They used to be like $2, right? 2.25 or whatever it was at Wawa. They're like little apple juices, and then they got like a figurine of something at the head, on the head, and you drink through it, right? I mean, it's Disney. They're Disney's making royalty stuff, but now they're like three. What were they? 3.39 last night. I'm like, wow, they're like almost one and a half times the price was what they were. So I mean, the Fed can pat themselves on the back, but I can tell you right now, I still things are still delayed. We still can't get all the things we wanted before. Um, Prices are still high. I mean, besides gas, which again everybody blamed at the beginning, I don't see it much stuff that is really cheaper. So I don't know. It's hard to say that that's there, and then you see that pound number coming in yesterday. Um, you know, the Fed has made many mentions to if we stop and then it goes up, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. So uh, yeah, we'll see. Um, anyway, all the movement in the overnight, obviously, since yesterday morning, is all due to the dollar. You're seeing euro pound is up about 42. So again, a decent move up. And I think some of that has to do with obviously the unemployment rate going here, and then obviously the pound. Typically, when you do what is expected with the interest rates right now, it's considered negative, right? So they expected to come in at 0.25. They got it, and it is negative. Seeing again strength roll back in as well, as kind of expected. So, I mean, the market's really doing everything it should. The question is, will we stabilize and start building back again? Will they start pulling some positive gleams from all this? And I think probably, I mean, we're getting close to the weekend here. It's kind of been a rough week. They'll be like, oh man, we haven't had rates this high since 2007. We need to do something, right? So, I feel like we're kind of setting ourselves up for a potential feel good Friday ish type trade. We'll see how much negativity comes out there today with it. I wouldn't expect I would expect there to be some comments. I wouldn't be surprised if we got like a Jamie Dimon comment or some of the, I don't want to say lesser because they're like not lesser human beings, but less influential people on the Fed making some comments as well. I feel like we're due to, it's out. You've had a day to absorb it, and now this is how I voted, or this is what I see coming forward. Um, how much influence that actually has over the markets, I think it's still left to the imagination at this point. All right, so big thing tomorrow is are we expanding, contracting? I think a majority of these, all the manufacturing are weakening. Are weak. They're already in contraction stage, and the question is, will services start to catch up? I think that's the big question tomorrow. And then again, durable goods not as necessarily a big of a mover right now, but I still think it's important. They're both supposed to be positive. Imagine if orders are negative, what that's going to look like. No, get out of the drawer. We're not sitting in the drawer today. No, go play. Um, so, that's where we're at. The VIX. This is the absolute funniest VIX candle patterns I've ever seen. I think this is absolutely hysterical. It's like, oh God, what do we do? Is it up? Is it down? Like increasing kind of no movement trades, right? This is an hour, and it's like, oh God, from 2 o'clock to basically five, um, or four. It's like, what do we do? It was up, down. It was like, oh my God, what do we do? Right? And then it's like exploded up, and then it's pushed back down again. So, yeah, a lot of craziness in there. Like, this is the absolute funniest. What do you take with this now? It's like, listen, all the data's in. We had the movement yesterday, and again, rightfully so. You're seeing all the indices now in the green, right? It's just quiet. Um, and I think this makes a lot of sense for today. We had that big drop yesterday, but has really much changed? I mean, I guess we kind of have a little bit better of an idea, but the reality is we really don't. You know, all we need to do is get one number like the UK, and you know, I think the Fed's gonna, yeah, I think the Fed will go off the rails. They'll go crazy and be like, "This is what we're trying to, we're trying to avoid this." So yeah, we'll see. As far as the dollar goes, we had dollar weakness, right? The news came in and ended up banking off 102, and you can see it kind of pushed back up again. So we talk about pre-movement, and you can see we kind of bounced off this level, but this almost became like a standardized trade, right? A little Harry Potter there, where we had one, we had two, we had three. And it started basing on the top. You're like, this is gonna fall. This is gonna fall, and it did. It fell very, very fast, came all the way down. It had a full move of $1.04, right, from that three range, basically all the way to the two range, and then a little retracement back again, and it found some stabilization. So, right now, can we really say that a dollar is going to be that weak? We know we're going to raise one more time, but they've already kind of told us forecast wise, what the rest of this really looks like. Um, you know, should it go back down? What currency is more attractive right now? And that's the big question. I just really don't think that there are many out there that would be. Bubba, get out of there. No, stop. Yep, they will bite your fingers. Stop touching that. Go. Why? Go in the other room. Go. Go. Go play. Get away from all the most dangerous things in this room that you don't touch when I'm not on the stream. Go. Go ahead. Go. Get out of the way. Go. Come on. He never plays in this room except when I'm on stream. Go ahead. Go play over there. Go play over there. Get away from the birds. Not that the birds are vicious, but it's like, he's got a little tiny finger. He puts his finger in it, the birds are grabbing it. They're taking that fry and running with it. Um, So yeah, where the dollar is, I think we find some stabilization. We start to rally back again. Eventually, this all comes back down to the kind of the same thing before we were mentioning before. Like, what nation is the strongest? If there is a global recession, who's going to be the most resilient from the whole thing? And that's obviously always going to be the United States. We just have a bigger GDP, more spending power, so it obviously helps us. You know, that's just the reality of the size of the nation. So nothing earth shattering there. So all the indices in the green. Equities, or I'm sorry, commodities, all up a little bit, and part of that is a weak dollar today. And you can see oil back over 70. It's like, yo, what are we doing? We had a surplus yesterday. Again, we're up. Again, it's over 71. It's 71 right now. It's like, wait, we were talking about like 63, something like that. What were we talking about? Where is it? Yeah, 64. We were talking about 64 the other day. Now we were rallying all the way back up again. And look at this. We had this nice little 70 hit. And we'll cover this more before, but like we hit it. We hit it again. It's like, oh, it's going to break. It's breaking. And it did. And it based down again. And it's now driving. And, it's starting to drive up to that 72 number. It's like, really? A week, Monday. Monday, we were talking about 64 and we're up $10. So, funny how that works out. Natural gas, again, pulling away. Gold. Gold had a very interesting day. Again, with that super weakness in there, this thing just skyrocketed forward and is now pulling back again. So the targets got hit. Silver, again, very, very similar, although silver, again, it found a top and it's like, wait, why is our top there? Now, look, just happens to be right around that 23. So we'll cycle through all those. So here's the Aussie trade. Yeah, so definitely a parabolic retracement. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'll remove this so you guys can see it. And, we talked about look to see what happens ahead of time. What happened the hour and a half before? It pushed down. What was that? Take mommy's shoes. Um, so look at this. Push right down in the news, kind of found the level of buying here, and boom, explosion. So it did use the top. We talked about this, the 67.21 yesterday. But look, 1, 2, 3. Did we expect it to hold? No. And it held, and then the craziness came in, and then that's where the short came back again. So it was a parabolic move. It whipsawed everything out, and I don't even think on the lower time frames. Yeah, even on lower time frames, you see it popped up and then came back down again and used that old level and took off lower. So, it did reverse from there. Again, the parabolic move up, parabolic move back down, went to the origin of the move, and then rallied up. And then again, European session came in, and the Europeans are like, nah, not kidding, just kidding. It's not, dollar's not that weak, right? Dollar is not that weak. So you can see that it immediately pushed back to the downside. So we got to adjust some things now that the news is all out. Let's pull this out again. We still have the level lower. We don't need this one again. 1, 2, 3, number 4. It shouldn't have held on 4, and it didn't. It based and then went higher. Right now we kind of have a level sitting up in there, and it's not a really great level. But if we pull fibs up on this one, you can see anybody that was trying to trade fibs. Talk about the fake out this morning. They're like, yeah, stopped out. So not a good morning for fib traders. Overall, though, I will say, looking down here at the 50, there is levels of basing, and this is actually where the news took off from. So I feel like this could definitely be a potential reversal later on today as we push down. We got a decent amount of room to run on at about another 30 pips. The ATR on the 4-hour is 31, so it's about a 4-hour move if we turn right now to head down. But now that we're approaching, non-European U.S. Open hours, it should slow down a little bit. But I think that's a level that, although it, based in there, it's kind of come back and been front run on it once because, again, once we had the spike here, anybody looking for the 50 would have missed it. But they are going to look for it a second time. So, I think right now overall, we look to get short up top. I think we put this up here. And obviously, you guys, if you can't tell, my voice is just done. I think right now, a big area now around the 60. Yeah, I mean, I think these are the two levels we're looking at, right? Look for a balanced confirmation. Again, I think we hit the 66.78. I think this come down and grabs it. Um, I think it's a profit target first. I need a confirmation bounce off that 50. Okay. What are you doing? You're coming back from the other room with a smile on your face. You got into something. Um, yeah. So right now we're in the middle range. I don't think there's much there. Maybe another if you want a trend continuation. Yeah, there is a trend continuation trade if you're looking for this. Again, right there around the 50. If you're looking for a short trade for later today. And again, maybe if we rally straight up, right? If we rally straight back up again, that would be a pretty decent trade. Let me pull right there, just so you guys can see it. And all that is the high to low, right? The overnight high to low. It's sitting at a 50, and again, impulse, pullback, and then nice strong push this morning. So that's a decent little level right there. 16. We'll just call it 67.20. Um, Again, this is ideally a supply zone, but it's backstopped by a 50 retracement. Aussie yen. Aussie yen. There's your move in the morning. It's Tuesday. Hold on. I'm like totally confused. So, where is it? Oh, sorry. Interesting move. It pulled back, and again, here's your 14 candle, right? So we pushed down. There wasn't really a zone here. We were talking about going to another short. What's interesting is we had a little base sitting right there. And look at this. The 14 drove us in, and then Powell spoke, which again, we knew when Powell was going to speak, that's when the craziness was going to come. And again, Powell spoke right here at the 4:30 candle and just boom. So there was absolutely a retracement in this one. This was actually a pretty nice little setup. And again, look where the 50 is from before. We got all kinds of basing there. So it was a nice trade yesterday. It hasn't fully retraced back again. It's got a little bit more room to go. Where it is right now, again, we can pull all these off because it's in the past now. Um, Past? No, it did not. Hmm. What are you doing with that? Go ahead, you play with it. Um, hmm. This went right to the end. I like the test off of it. I don't like that it went all the way to the end. It's like, oh, it's almost the same thing. Again, we do have our, even if you only count this as one, two, three, pretty deep, it should break if it comes down here again. Um, Nice little. Here's a mistrade. I didn't catch this one. Maybe you guys caught this one. It's a nice little mistrade right here. A confirmation off the 50. Look at that. That's awesome confirmation. Or buyer's Richard. Yeah, I feel like this is. I don't think we can take another long off this level. I think we need to wait till it comes lower. It's a decent level. If we didn't have these two touches, I'd be way more into it. It's got too many touches, right? Here, here, here. I love this though. If it was just this and not this, if this just went sideways, it would be great. Uh, Put this down here as like an area to watch. Oops. Depending on how we hit, if we can do this, if we can get this flipped upside down here, all of it, just don't feel like this level is going to hold. Maybe we can get this here. Maybe we can get a confirmation off that one. I just think the more conservative makes more sense. The 87.37. So, yeah, this is not as clean. I was really hoping we get out of this sideways movement, but we didn't. Euro dollar. So, euro dollar. Interestingly enough, euro dollar was pushing up. Now, it had pushed in, it pushed in again, it pushed in again, it pushed in again, it pushed in again. It's like, listen, it's got the buyers below. It only had one place to go, was up. Okay, so let's take this off so you guys can see it. And you can see the move that it did. Now, it did retrace a decent bit before going higher. Now, where we are up top right now, it's an interesting spot because we are approaching now the 110 is actually up here. Like 110 is a very, very big deal. Right there. Right. 110 is a big deal. All right, here, hold on. Someone will say, well, wait a second. Wait, there's more zeros. Yes, I know there's more zeros. 110 will be a big deal. I'm going to see if we can push. See, this is what we ran into this morning. Was this area of buyers here? Right there. This is what we ran into. Okay. I like this one short. Do I like a short from 109.20 as much as I like the short from 110? No. The short from 110 is really great. I love the 110 short. Is there a short here? Answer is yes. Is it the greatest one in the world? Not so much, but I would say that it is pretty decent. I love how it went up there in base. It's obviously way extended. And again, are they going to raise interest rate? Yeah. I mean, if there's a global recession, who's going to affect more, the U.S. or Europe? Answer is Europe, right? Bud buds. Kipster. Come here, Kip. He's playing in the bathroom. We have a drawer with Melissa buys everything at Sam's Club, so you obviously get like 27 bottles of everything, like shampoo, conditioner, that kind of stuff. We have it in a bottle or one drawer. He loves to go in there and take all the bottles out. That's exactly what he's doing. Yeah. What do you got there? I see what you got. Yeah, so he's emptied that one. Anyway, like this one short, I think it's a decent level up here. Again, 109.30 is a level I'd be interested in just because we're so far extended. If you can get a confirmation off of it, makes more sense. Look for red, green, red, and you should be good to go. Euro pound. So where we are euro pound wise. So we talked about having that breakthrough here yesterday morning. And it ended up Harry Pottering right off that level. It came up at like 12 o'clock and then pulled back down. So it was a broken level. It did not reverse, went up, went down, went up, and we ended up grabbing that 88.63. And we talked about this being a level, and we're pushing back down right now. It is above the 78.6 here, so we can actually add. Let's see. We're going to take it from the bottom and go up from here to here. Okay. You can see that the 23 did okay, but it's just really having a hard time right now. So I really like this short still, right? We've been talking about this 88.11 short down to 87. I'll just this way so it's not as confusing. Right there, and right there. I think it's great. I love it. I love the fact that it broke. I love the fact that it confirmed and Harry Pottered off of it. I love the fact that it came down and touched it. We said that yesterday it could come down and take off one more time. It has the ability to do it one more time again, and again, then we're looking to take it. So I don't know when. It's not a when. It's an if this then that. This should be there. Okay. So again, profit target is still in the exact spot. So love this one. Whenever it triggers, set yourself an alert and come back to this. Euro yen. Euro yen really didn't do much. We kind of rode up yesterday, then rode down, and it went down a little bit right here, and then kind of just stabilized, and we're still holding on that same line. At this point, obviously, it's an area of interest floating around this 142.50. Let's pull this up, and we'll just kind of mark the top of this one. The top was formed right at 8 o'clock yesterday morning, and you can see not enough, not the same yen movement like we'd expect, and it just came back and grabbed it. So right now, we're kind of in between two zones. I still like the Harry Potter here because we've now stabilized and we're having a hard time going any higher. I am going to set an alert on this one. I think setting an alert there makes a lot of sense. Knowing when it comes back down and breaches that, but 141.71 all the way down to 141. We mentioned it yesterday. I'm not going to go over it again. Pound yen. All right, so pound yen. We talked about kind of a retracement, and we did. We got the kind of the skirt, but it was the opposite direction. It went up, and then we immediately pulled back down again. We talked about going down. I mean, here is the original play. We're going to go down and then pop. it did. It went down to here, right? And then popped. So it did go down to the zone we talked about. It went a little bit early, right? About 12:30, 1 o'clock is where we started the rally off of that zone. So it did go early, and it did obviously pop off of it. Right there's the pop, right? So it went to the right spot. So let's clear all these times off. We can see where we're at now with it. Mhm. We should keep this on, but I'm not going to. All right, so yeah, see, we're the problem is right now on the top side, we're sitting in this candle right here. Kip, come here, Kip. Um, so unfortunately, until really this level, there's not a clean short. Go. There's your clean short. You can see why we're artificially, and again, it's not necessarily artificial, but there are buyers there, so it's at this 20. Problem I have with this one is we've already had a hard time getting out of this area. All right, we've already seen one push from it. Now that the U.S. session is here, all the weakness. Kip, come here, Kipster. Kip keeps bringing me more bottles. I'm gonna have like 27 shampoo bottles in this room in a second. This is like that. You tell your kids, "Hey, listen, your job today. See that pile of bricks? You're gonna move that pile of bricks over there, right? And then when they're done, you say, you know what? Never mind. Put them all back again. This is what's happening right now. No, no, give me that. What is that? Give it to me that right now. Give it to me right now. Get, give it to me right now. Nah, ah, no, give it to me. Hold on one sec, guys. You're playing with mommy's makeup. So. No, no. Go in the other room. No, we cry. We're gonna go in the crib. Um. So yeah, it's gonna be one of those mornings. You're not allowed to mess up mommy's makeup and get it all over the place, and then we're gonna melt down. So yeah, I think this is a decent level. This is it qualifies for more of a 1030 reversal than anything else. It's a confirmed level where it came back up in U.S. session and pulled away. And again, all this would be is dollar strength rolling back in. Both the dollar and the pound did the same thing. The pounds, they say they were in a recession. They're not going to go into a recession, but they're obviously in a weak situation. Kip, we're not doing this. No, no. Here, take this. Here, here. Look, here. Do some mixing. Okay. All right. Here. Do you want this? This? Is that cool? Mm. All right. So yeah, I like this one. I think it's a good confirmed level. Look for it to turn and roll back to the downside. Oops. Something along these lines. I think the range makes a lot of sense. Right. 103 sitting right there, right back at the 23.6. So it's a good spot. Pound yen. All right, so here's this morning's news. Really, not a whole lot. Nothing really popped out of it today, but you can see it deteriorated around yesterday, went down. 14 capping right here. Little bit of yen play again. The target got hit that we were looking for it to hit, and all it did was it went lower and it kind of stabilized. It did not make it all the way down to the 160.30. That's kind of where we are looking for. It went shy of the old 50, so let's pull this back up. You can see it hit down and then kind of needed to go lower. So right now, there's not really a whole lot of levels. Again, I feel bad for the 23.6 people on this one. They kind of got a little bit of like, yeah, they get in, and we're like, yeah, we're up, and then all of a sudden it just died on them. So again, sorry, fib traders, that was a hard one for you. So right now, I mean, I'm not even gonna leave fibs on there because again, the best zone is really kind of sit down here, but it drove deeper than this one. So I still think we're waiting for this level lower. So I'm gonna look for this here. We'll adjust this slightly. Right? And that's the old 78. So we're going to leave that there for now. Let's pull this off. Leave so many of these things up here. All right, so that's what we're looking for right now. Curve wise, we're sitting right in the middle. So again, there's not a bias, bullish or bearish. So you just got to be cautious with that when you're setting trades up. Dollar CAD. So check out dollar CAD. So dollar CAD, we talked about pre-movement of news, and what did it do? It drove up to the level, right? And then when the news came out, straight to the floor. All right, so we'll remove this. Again, that's what we were calling for, a pullback to that 50. It ended up slicing almost all the way through and then came back up and grabbed it yet again. And now it has officially sliced through. So again, this is not a Harry Potter trade. Again, remember we mentioned this yesterday. Harry Potter trades are not really designed for news, but you're looking for a break of that level. It did slice all the way down to this bottom target, right? Is what we were looking for. Um, you know, if anything, you would have taken this one on the way out when it was here with very small risk. But if you didn't like that one, but said, hey, listen, there's a level there. I like the level. I'm good with that level. I like how that turned, how strong it did. Again, parabolic retracement all the way back up, grabbed the level, and then boom, took off to the downside. So, I mean, even with this bigger risk, right? And I say bigger, but it's only 15 pips worth of risk. There's where your trade looks like. All you're doing is going back to the start of the move. So the trade's out. Again, we're looking for a short from that position. Right now, it's forming a base down here at this 163.55. We called that. The target's been hit. And we're really looking right now, when you look to the left, right, to see what's been there before, this is the zones that we're in right now. There's a few tests in here, but nothing that's earth-shatteringly great as far as levels of where I'm comfortable to really kind of take a trade. Oh, Bubba, you pooped. I smell it. Oh, Bubba, stinky boy. You're stinky today. Here's your glasses. Here, put these glasses on. You love these glasses. Boom, boom. Um, so right now, until we get a little bit lower, there's just not a lot there. There's not a lot of strong movement, strong basing. So there's only so much we can do with that one. We're looking for decent levels. We're not trying to force a trade. So as far as taking a long in here, some type of reversal trade, there's a little basing here. But look, 1, 2, 3, we can't use that. And then we have a Harry Potter down here at the 50. So if anything, I would say it's more meant for short trades right now. So here we can, I guess we can take this one. I think this is probably what makes the most sense is going from here to here and saying, all right, what do we got, right? Nothing related to 23 now. You can see it sliced through that and ended up using the level here, right? I think really until we get to like this, I think this is probably where we're targeting is the dollar CAD coming down to 136.07. I think that makes the most sense right now. If it does, the 50 comes up in here. And again, it could be anywhere down. It could be 136 in general, right? 136 is right there. And you can see the places that between that supply zone between the 50 and 61.8. So I think that's probably going to be the next area we're looking for reversals. But at this point, it's a little bit high. If it comes just a little bit lower, again, there's your backstop or your front run is going to be here, right? And again, it's the front run side once I hit 37. I'm sorry, 136. So kind of what's on the radar as far as dollar CAD goes. Looking at dollar Swiss. Obviously, the Swiss news today, a little bit of chop, but not much. Here's the target that we talked about yesterday, this black line. Interestingly enough, we said, hey, listen, if we can get a Harry Potter out the top in time, we're good. It didn't. What did it do? Hour before the news, or a couple hours before the news, it drove back up to that zone. Is it a valid zone? Yeah. But we'd already had 2 touches, so we were kind of concerned about it holding, but it held. Again, 3 is fine. 1, 2, 3, a huge push to the downside. Grabbed our profit target 1 and profit target 2. So, again, trade's officially out at this point, obviously. So we can take this one off. We don't need it anymore. It did what it was supposed to do. Look, 1, 2, 3, blew right through it. 4. Again, good with that one. The 78 was touched, so I don't care about it anymore. I am going to leave that there because I still do like that to the top side. Let's take this, run this down because this is where people are going to draw it. Yeah, so it's going to have to be a trap of a 61.8. What I mean by that is there's 1, there's 2, there's 3 touches of that zone. It's barely pierced, so there could be maybe 1 more hit with it. But eventually, when it does go to break and go through, I'm all over that position. And again, if it does go up, it's going to be a trap. Everybody knows there's a 61.8 there. It's the top of this, so it should hit. I'd say probably 1 more hit and goes down, and then it starts to move back up again. But dollar Swiss, look for a break of 92.56 going up to 92.99. Dollar yen. So dollar yen. Dollar yen kind of did kind of more or less what we expected. We were worried about the 4 hit mark. And again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's like you got to be out of the short. It's not happening here. And it did. It went a little bit higher, gave us a base, pulled back, and then pushed down again. And then when the news came out, this is what it did before the news. Okay. The 14 is this red candle. It found a bottom here at 10:30 and went right back up again right before the news. Right back up to a zone and then boom, collapsed away, which is fine because we were looking for. What are you doing? What happened? What happened? So, this is absolutely one you guys could have planned. It's pretty simple. Again, you always got to mark these off, assuming it's going to break, but at the same time, the pre-news movement told us everything we needed to see. So let's take these off so people are not confused. We don't need that anymore. Um, right now, we're sitting on the 131. I was actually wondering yesterday if we'd make it down to the 130. Ow, ow, ow. You can't do that. Um, let's see. Are we going to get help from this one? No. We're in a little bit of a zone now. Right, a little bit of a zone now. And we have the 131 supporting us. Let's see. Six, 3, 2. It would look like this. That's what it'd be looking like. Right? Yeah, I mean it's okay. I'm all right with that one. The top of this is almost identical, so we should have a push. We need to be out before we hit here. Yeah. Okay. So again, break of 131.67. Look for it to go to 132.23. Let's see crude. All right. So crude yesterday. We talked about this not being as big of a thing, right? Talking about there would be some movement from there. Talking about seeing inflation, controlling inflation, dollar cost, and you can see it did push back down a little bit. Didn't really change range. Again, we ended up hitting the 70 here. We hit it again in base, and it really had a fight at 70 to get through. It is now beyond 70, and we were 72.27 is really where we were looking for a short. It was the last big push. There's a 61.8 coming in here just in a little bit, but again, I think we're getting close. We're on the way. We're close there. Again, we chopped through this level with all the news yesterday, and I didn't think it would necessarily be a big thing, just because again the interest rate was so much more of a powerful factor. So, um, eh, right now for some reason, if this 61.8 is it turns out to be a level where we are going to see a reversal. Watch out for this 23.6 again. We know that oil is a very technical market. We know that 27 is sitting right there. There's 27.10. 27 sitting right there. I'm sorry. 70 is sitting right there on top of the 23.6. And look, it stabilized. Boom, boom, boom. It took off. So 70 would absolutely have to be a target if we reverse now. Again, coming from 71.41 or 43 to 70, not a bad little trade setup. But I like shorts up here at 72.29 for oil. Natural gas, again, continue to deteriorate. We talked about hitting 216 yesterday, and we did. You can see a little bit of movement right at 14, right at the FOMC, but not tons. It literally spiked down and then just maintained to hold. We are down here. We've had 2 hits of the zone now. I kind of like to see it come one more. Once we start getting a base in here, right? Once we start getting that base, actually, hold on. I feel like there's got to be like an emoji on this one, or not an emoji, but is there something that's like rectangulish? The dollar bill. I can put a dollar bill in there, right? Although I feel like that's presumptuous. People like you said that was money. No, I was using it because it was a rectangle. A gift doesn't work. Is there an emoji for that I can put in there? I just need something for basing instead of a triangle. Because the triangle is kind of confusing. No, not really. It'd be nice if I did have one, but I don't. Piano keys, no. Just looking for something wide. A bridge? A bridge wouldn't be bad, maybe. I could put a cassette tape, right? A cassette tape is most people are like, what the hell is a cassette tape? I don't know what is a cassette tape, right? I could put that there and be like, yep, right there. We get basing, right? But no one's gonna know what that is, right? Because I said it's a VHS cassette tape, you'll know what it is. But otherwise, it's like, wait, what? What did you do with that? You put that into a box? What did it do, right? I just need basing down here, right? I just need a level of basing. Once we have a basing here, then again we pull the trigger when it comes out the bottom side. We're looking at a short on this one of 112, 112.50. Gold. All right, so gold. So gold, we were looking for a big pop. Okay. I was expecting a little bit faster of a pop. This is the pop we got. Was here and then up. So, as far as the distance of the pop, I missed the buy. Actually, I didn't miss it. I had the wrong angle, right? If you remove these two, right? Remove this. This is where we're talking about target wise. I got the top pretty close, right? There's the pop up. I don't know if you guys can see this, right? There's the bottom of the pop. Look at that. I got really, really close, right? Really, really close. It gave us the pop. Okay. Didn't give us so much of a retrace, right? And again, once we pulled back from this level, it's like, yeah, it's popping. It's not going short. So again, we did not need the short. Poor people that got into that 23.6, they got banged. Yeah. Oof. They took a big bang right on the head right there. Boop. Right. We're short. Yeah, we're winning this one. Um, right now, I would say I'd be very cautious with a sell here. I know we've talked about dollar strength rolling back in, but here were the original sellers, boom, boom, and then we hit boom, boom. So we're at 5 right now with a racetrack to the top side. So remember yesterday when Kip like messed with the one monitor and killed it? It's now loose and it's flashing and it's driving me crazy. 1 to 3 is right there. So I actually like this long. I hate to say gold long gold because I'm not really I like to be a bear on gold, right? But right now, this one's looking like if it comes through 198.75, looks like this one is rallying up. And why I like this one is because the target, right? The target, right? There's kind of your target, right? Why is that great? Because it's right below 2000. 2000 will act like a magnet to suck it higher, right? It will literally suck it higher. Um, and why do I like this also? All right, I gotta get off this one. Oh, I'm sure there's probably an emoji that I could use, but I'm just not an emoji color guy. Like tattoos, I don't like color tattoos. Right? There's got to be one in here. I'll have to find it on my time. There's some good ones. Like I don't know if I love a trade, I feel like I could throw some hearts out there. I could do that one. But here you go. I can just do this. Right? And what are we hitting now? Right? We are hitting number 4. Number 4 means we're at the breaking point. And again, with us basing there, I think this one's probably pretty close to coming through. But a brick of 186.75 up to 198.25. Silver, still having a hard time. But again, 1, 2, 3. It's artificial. This one never really disappears. We did get the pullback as well. You can see it. This red candle. Boop. Right. There's what it looks like right there. Actually, it's more like that. That started at 1 o'clock. So the 1 o'clock candle drove it straight down into a zone. It looked like this. And then again, there's your move. And I drew this on a couple different charts. But there's what it was. Pull down before news, a pop up right to 23. And that's where it had its problem. So again, silver pretty easy trade yesterday. Once it started chopping through, we're like, oh man, this could be over here. That would be a nice little short trade. But nope. The market knew what it was. It drove it right down. So again, people had the data, right? As I said they would. Yeah, I mean, right now, and again, I hate to say this, right? Because I silver has no business being at 23. I still think it's a joke. It's got room to run, right? There's nothing slowing it down right in here. This is a oh, I can't use those. I feel like is there a search function? No. feel like there's a rocket ship, right? That's a nose, not a rocket ship. It looked like a rocket ship actually at first. I was like, oh, like, look at that. It's a plane facing straight up. That means it's a rocket, right? Now I'm curious if I could find one, then it works out perfectly. Um, there we go. Racetrack, right? Rocket, straight up. So, with that said, we know we don't really have anything kicking in until there, which is also rated at 50% retracement. That's how much room we had to run. So, it doesn't become cautious until here, right? So, right now, if you're going to take a base, there's your base, right? 1, 2, 3. It's basing in 4. We should have a pop all the way up to 23.42. Okay. Now let's look at the indices. VIX obviously going down. Everything's in the red, or I'm sorry, everything's in the green. We expected that one. Dollar, dollar's really holding, maintaining. We haven't really done much. We're at a stage right now where we could have some type of a pop. It's not there yet, but it could be. Yes, let's see what we got for morning positions here. Ooh, 9 o'clock. It left without us. Man, right? Doom, doom, doom. 9 o'clock it left instead of the 9:15. Oh, by the way, what did it do? Up, down, and this again to here, right? We talked about a pop from here to here, and I tell you this one would be slow, and it was faster. I drew it at that pace, and it gave us. Oh, not that crap. There's probably like 12 bars there. So there, I was off of my angle, right? And then I said it was going to pop, and then it was going to crash, and it popped and crashed. We're retracing back again. Sad thing this morning is nice little trade setup. Nice little setup this morning. Unfortunately, if you're looking at opening print over here, it had already taken off. Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's a shame that it went early today. There's 1 to 3 exactly. It's out. Wah, wah, wah. So yeah, it did hit. It just hit at 9 o'clock instead of 9:30 today, and that can happen. Sometimes they will front run, but after yesterday's big down, you had to be looking for long trades. If you're looking for a pullback, again, a nice little base right there, and when it started to pull back into it, easy small level of risk, and again, nice push up. So it's out now, unfortunately. Um, Same thing, man. 9 o'clock again. I bet you they all went early today. And this one, look, there's your confirmation in the overnight. That's exactly what we're looking for. But the 9:30 candles here. So this one also left early, and man, this sucks too because if you did not check this one early, there's your 1 to 3. There's your 1 to 3. Oof. And look, here's yesterday's news. We came up, had some problems around that 13,000. Right? They were like, oh yes, and then boom, right, all the way down. So we can take that off now. Right. This too. Let's see. Did we hit the 78? No. Oh, the 78's right on the 13. There's probably a sell in there. Bubbuds, where'd you get that? No, no. Okay, you can eat it. What is that? What are you eating? Bubbuds, what is that? Um. So yeah, it looks like we could potentially have a reversal situation coming in at 12,998.5. Reason why it's a 78.6. If you look right here, you see what also happens to be at that level. There's a little bit of a pullback there, and it's people looking to get long 13,000. Right? Everybody's like, oh, we break 13,000, go long. So there's a lot of reason why you could potentially see a short and reversal. But I would say right now the target would be again, if you were long, make sure you were out at 19,985. Actually, get in a little bit before that. 1990. Yeah, I'm sorry, 12,990 is probably the safest thing to do there. Get yourself out right before the 786. I don't like 786, but there are people that do. The fact that there are sellers sitting right here as well, and the 13,000, there's a lot of reason to be selling it there early. So again, if you're long, but again, nice setup. It just hit at 9, not at 9:15. Um, oh, this one did it too. Not to the same extent though. Right. Same pullback. Man, today 9 o'clock was the hour today. Oh, Russell's the only one. There you go. So Russell was the only one. Russell did come down. Here's yesterday's drop. Again, kind of a 5:30 reversal-ish, 6 o'clock reversal-ish. There was the pullback at 9 o'clock. It didn't hit it. So thankfully, one of them didn't go in there and trigger early. Um, this one also has some room to run. And we talked about yesterday how, listen, if we can get up to 18, that would be a big sell. You can see it came all the way up to 17.98.7. So basically 17.99. I missed it by 1 point. That's how close it was, right? And kind of did the same thing, right? We drove down, we drove up, and then we had the immediate reversal at 14:45, right? As soon as Powell started speaking, he tanked the market, right? So, yeah, it kind of did more or less what we expected as well. So, yeah, let's move all these out of the way, get them out of the way. We can remove this, we can remove this. We've got that one marked. We can remove these. Again, the target got hit yesterday as well. We can mark this one, but this is way too big of a zone. Just saying. We're not using that one, but that's way too big of a zone. Yeah, 1800. Look how 1800 kind of similar to what we're talking about with 13,000, right? I'm sorry, 33,000, right? And 13,000 here, right? It's the same thing, but with 18, right? 1800. So this should continue to go higher. It probably runs into some selling coming in right here. But of all of them, this is the only one that didn't really necessarily have a pullback. So, all right, that's it for today. I mean, what do you got here? Apple, Tesla. Let's see, check these guys out real bad. Yeah, there we go. It's rallying. Little bit of sellers coming in up hot right here, right? And again, afternoon profit taking. Tesla also in the same spot, right? Arrow selling right there. So there's a lot of things that are at stages where they're like kind of like, hey, we could see reversals here. And again, there will be some profit taking. It is 10:30, so particularly with the indices, if we are looking for a roll, they're all in the right spot. Again, 9 o'clock was the magic hour today. Of all these that are reversing, I mean, again, we're at 61.8 here. This is probably at a 50. Yeah, it's pretty close to a 50. So, yeah, a lot of trades this afternoon. But overall, all I would expect to see is a bit of a retracement. I would expect all these to kind of flatline in preparation for tomorrow. Depending on how much we move and depending what happens in the European session, I think tomorrow probably be pretty decent. I'm actually expecting some headlines to start coming in from Fed presidents. Yeah, ECB is like, yeah, we'll probably do more. Yeah, we're probably going to do more, right? Probably do more in May. Probably. I mean, if the United States is saying it, you're probably going to do it too. So, but I don't think they do a 0.5. I think they do it 0.25. So, yeah. So that's it. Let's go ahead and do the drawing for today. So we got 5 of you in. Who do we got here? All right, we go. All right. It's my usual suspects here. No, Jeff. I'm going to reach out to Sean. Like, yeah, where are you at? All right, let's close this down. Winner of today's drawing is... Wow. Debbie's been like the spoiler all week, right? Last time Nora was going for 2. Debbie stopped him. Nora picks the trend back up again, was going for 3. Ernest stopped him yesterday. Ernest is going for 2. Man, Debbie is like the Grim Reaper now. Man, Debbie, it'd been a while, but man, Debbie is just stopping everybody's streak now. Woo! Watch out. This lady's on fire. So, you go, Debbie. All right. With that, I am out of here. I will catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for joining me today. And again, a lot of stuff in the European session. The way to play this is look at this tonight before you go to bed, whatever time that is late. Look for price running into levels. Again, I would say that there's probably more opportunity for weakness than there is strength. Um, but again, a lot of that's because we're approaching 50 on a lot of things. So thank you for joining me. I will catch everybody tomorrow, and I'll see you then.